So Steve, what we're going to be looking at next in this next segment is the integration of our intrusion panel systems with BVMS and the functions from the client side of things. Can you kind of briefly describe what we can expect?
Sure, we'll go over integration of the panel. The user interface just show the icons, the difference in the icon status, whether there's an alarm or not, how to arm and disarm the panel, and the available use of the items in the tree, what items come into the mapping and so on and so forth. Graphical user integration of the panel to the operator client.
Perfect. Let's take a look.
So we're going to review basic operations for the integration of the Bosch B and G series intrusion panels to BVMS. So I have on the screen BVMS operator client, and what you'll notice is the device tree for all of the devices in the system that I have access to as a user is located to the upper left-hand corner. In this case, I have a specific folder that is in the tree that includes all of the specific devices that are associated with the panel that I have integrated to BVMS, and I just have that folder named Intrusion System. I also have other locations in the tree where I have devices from the panel located. So in the tree, in the logical tree, I'm going to locate the folder that says Intrusion System. I'm going to click on the plus to expand it. Then that gives us a list of the devices that I have access to as a user in this device tree for this specific panel in BVMS. You'll notice that the device each have a name. These are user programmable from the administrator. So those icons, if you look at those icons, you'll notice that if we go over to the right, there's a map that I have displayed, that these icons are also shown on this map for this specific area of the system. I have outputs that I can control, so I could open a gate or turn a light on or open a door, do anything like that. I've got a point that is associated with a fence alarm along a runway. I have a keypad for a specific area. I have a pull station, and I have a door that I can control that's associated with the panel, as well as an office door point that is located in the system on this panel as well. There are other points in the tree that are not on this map. They may be located on a different map, or they may simply be not on a map but displayed in the device tree. The nice thing about having maps associated with BVMS, this gives the user the ability to have a graphical user interface, or you can actually look at where those points are as it's associated with your facility. You may or may not have a map. In this case, I'm going to go back over to the device tree, and I'm going to expand the folder called Airport Overview, which contains a map. And you'll notice again, all of the points and the devices that are associated with this map are shown underneath of the map in the device tree. There's cameras, as you can see. There's door that I have controlled by the panel. There's that output that I showed you on the map over here, as well as the pull station, the office door, the motion detector, the fence, and the area control for this area. I want to note a couple of different things with these icons. If you'll notice, they are color-coded. So when it comes to these intrusion icons, you'll notice that there is status of that icon. If you notice in the map, that status is followed over to the map. So at this point, this is a green indicator light on the area that indicates that the area is open. If the area was armed, that green indicator, that little lock icon right there, would change to a red icon, and you would see the lock appear to be closed. You'll also notice that I do have the capability from a programming perspective of coloring an icon. If for some reason I want an icon to stand out or be a different color, I can do that during setup. So giving the icon a background color, that is an individually based setup feature that you can do per icon. You'll also notice on this door icon that it shows with a red lock or that the door is secure. It has been locked. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on a couple of these different icons on the map and show you what choices I have for controlling those specific points or those devices from BVMS. So I'm going to click on this as the output module. So in this case, maybe I'm opening a gate to let a vehicle through, or maybe I'm just turning a light on to indicate that somebody can't do something, drive a vehicle out on the runway because there's an airplane approaching. So if I right click on the icon, I can change the status of the icon. I can turn it on. I can turn it back off. I can show that icon where it is on the map. It will zoom in electronically on the map. I can turn the names on and off on the icon. There are other things that I can do with that. But in this case, I'm going to activate that relay just so you can see what occurs. So at this point, I trigger that relay. This relay does not change color, but you'll notice that the icon status changes in the field of view. You went from having an open status icon to now it's a closed status icon. And if I right click on that, you'll notice that previously that it indicated I could turn it on. Now there's an indicator for turning it off. So when I'm done the operation and I verify it's safe to do so, I can disable that output and it will change state live on the screen. You'll notice that the state of the icon changes back to being open, or that, again, the status has changed. Next is a simple alarm input point. In this case, we have it labeled as an input from a fence detection system. And you'll notice it's a point because it has this small little bullseye looking thing there. That's the status, that's the indicator for an input point. And we gave it a name. We just simply called it fence. So if I right click on this, there's several things I can do with this point. If for some reason the point is not performing correctly, or the system that it's associated with is in maintenance, or there's another problem with it, I do have the ability to bypass that point in the system so that the specific area can be activated or armed, but I do have the ability to bypass a point as it's critical to being able to arm areas or regions within the system. Again, I'll go down to this pull station. This is just a point that is labeled as a pull station. I do have it colored yellow as if for one reason or another. Again, I have the same available control function for that point. So let's go down to this door icon. What you'll notice is that the icon is red for the door. It's showing that it's secure. So I do have the option to unsecure that door. That is momentary. I can unsecure the door and the icon would change to be green if the door were to be opened. Let's go up and look at the icon for the area, the specific area. We're going to call this area Area 1. And if I click on that, what you'll notice is I do have the ability to arm the area, force arm an area, and I would force arm an area if necessary if there was a point that happened to be open in error or a maintenance issue. I could still override that point and force the device to be bypassed and the area to be armed. I have the ability to silence any sort of alarm that could be indicated in the area. If, for example, there was something that was active in the area, I could do that. And again, you'll notice that that icon is currently showing with a green or open. If I right-click on that and I hit the arm button, what you'll notice is there'll be a brief delay and the icon status will change to red. Now the system is armed, or that area is armed. I can also, if an area is actually armed, I can go right-click on the icon, push the disarm button, and it will disarm. You'll notice that the status changes back to green, which means the area is open or unsecure. One other thing I want to make sure that you understand is that the map is flexible in terms of you being able to use a mouse wheel to roll around in the map or zoom in on a specific area of the map. You can also drag the map around. If you do zoom in, you can move around within the map simply by clicking, holding the mouse button, and then you can drag the map around so that if it was a very detailed map, you do have the ability to zoom in and see specific information associated with the map. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to activate an alarm, and we're going to see what happens on the map when a point goes into alarm. In this case, we're going to activate the fence alarm, and what will occur is the fence alarm icon will flash. You'll also notice that the alarm indication will be showing up down in the alarm event window in the operator client, and when we click on the alarm, you're able to call up video and also do other things with the alarm. So let's activate the fence alarm. You'll notice that the system is programmed to indicate that there's an alarm in the system. What I can do is I've called a camera up or two cameras up, and then I also have a map. I can switch back and forth between the map and the other device. You'll notice that first thing I can do is if I click on the actual keypad for the area, I can silence the alarm, but that does not clear the alarm. You'll notice that the icon associated with the fence alarm is flashing red, as well as there is a red alarm light symbol on that icon. So if I zoom in, I can see that specific icon, and I can see that that icon is flashing red as well as has the alarm status light on it. Then I can double click and go back to my panel where I'm looking at the cameras as well as the map. I can accept the alarm and I can clear the alarm, but you'll notice that the alarm indicator is still flashing and the alarm is still on. This is going to continue in the system until the event or the alarm in the field has been resolved. So I'm going to go ahead and clear that in the field. I'm simply going to have the person working with me deactivate the fence alarm. And you'll notice that once he does that, that the icon will stop flashing and it will go back to a normal status, which it did. So the flashing stopped as well as the little red alarm indicator light went off. The flashing status of an icon, or the status that you saw when we were talking about the output relay, color changes, flashing, so on and so forth, those are user controllable features from a program perspective. So the icons can react differently based on what they are and how the system is programmed. I can go ahead and minimize this again and get back to my normal display, and you'll see that I have one other event in my event window. If I double click on it, there's no cameras associated with it. It's just indicating that there is an active event in a camera, not associated with the alarm panel. I can also go up and I can accept this new alarm and I can also clear that alarm as well. I can do the same controls as I was doing on the map from the tree. So if I'm over in the device tree, I do have the ability to right-click on the icons, and you'll notice that the same functionality that was available on the map is available directly in the tree. If you don't have maps, you can do the same functions that we were doing on the map simply by clicking on the device, right-clicking on the mouse on the device in the tree, which will allow me to control, or allow you to control those devices, or check the status of those devices. As you can see, I can also minimize so that I'm looking at a much smaller list. And when I want to expand that back out, I simply push on the plus button, and the tree will expand out and give me the detail associated with what's underneath of the folder.